Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli and Don. I'm Coach Eli, Elias Melas.
And I'm Dawn Ledgerwood.
And welcome to a very special show today. We're going to be discussing why can't we all just get along, right, Dawn?
Right.
Right.
That's basically it.
That's basically it. Well, let's get right to it. First of all, a lot of people were questioning the fact of going pre-recorded instead of doing these shows live because they felt it wouldn't be as authentic. This is going to be live on tape. There's going to be absolutely no editing. And I wanted to discuss why we're doing these pre-recorded first and foremost, because it's important, right, babe?
Absolutely, it's important.
And the reason is because the live streams on YouTube have become extremely toxic. Wouldn't you say, babe, the live streams on YouTube have become really toxic? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's become to a point where when you have a topic, you can't even get to your topic because everybody's coming in there and trolling you. And you have to deal with these trolls and what they're saying. So basically, the amount of time you want to do your show, you can't even get to everything you want to talk about because then your show's over and you've got to get back to the rest of your life.
That's true. But beyond that, beyond the fact that people troll in your live chat, which is something you can control, folks. If you really want to control your live chat, you can. But many creators out there don't control their live chat. And I have a serious problem with that. Because if you're looking to create something of structure, something that's going to be beneficial and helpful and non-drama, as a content creator, it is your responsibility to remove people that are attacking anyone on your panel, yourself, or anyone in your chat. Now, I can understand a little friendly spat or a little,
hazing.
Yeah, a little bit of fun here and there is okay. And a difference of opinion is okay as long as it's shared respectfully. But when people come into your live stream chats and they deliberately try to derail your show, as a content creator, you've got to take care of that. You've got to have your moderators take care of that. Or people like me are just not going to participate on your channels anymore. But I think it goes further than that, babe. I think the problem lies with these live streaming panels on StreamYard. For example, the other night, and I say this respectfully, Robert Reese, you're a phenomenal man, and I hope we can continue working together.
I have respect for you.
But, for example, he ran an interview with myself and brought on a couple of people onto the show, which was fine. And then towards the end of the show, there were a few people that wanted to come on, and all they wanted to do was attack me and talk smack about me and try to derail the interview. That's where the problem lies. When you go onto a live stream panel, even if it's just you and the creator that's interviewing you, if they open up the panel publicly, anyone can come on and just derail that show. And I just do not want to be a part of that anymore. I think that's what ruins great content out here on YouTube. What are your thoughts about that, babe?
Yeah, and I think it also ruins relationships that you make with good people because they're scared to create content with you anymore because they don't want it to affect their channel. Because when these trolls come in and they're following you, they want to get away from you because they don't want the trolls in their channel.
Right.
And that's happened a lot. You're reaching out and trying to get away from this drama sphere and find a new, working environment that's not full of drama. And these people, these cockroaches of the drama sphere follow you. And it doesn't allow you to get out and spread your wings and just, that's all you've been saying ever since I've been with you is that you don't want to be around drama. You always want to break away from it. And it's almost like you're being caged down and you can't break free.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore, babe. You hit the nail on the head there. And here's the thing. Drama is inevitable. It's going to happen in all aspects of life. And no matter how hard you try to stay away from it, it's going to come up. It came up in this new community we've been a part of, the gig economy community. But we pretty much squashed that and we moved past it. We may talk a little bit about it here today, but there's a former group of people that have been trolling me and harassing myself and my lady for quite some time. My lady's been with me a little over 2 years. I've been doing this for over 6 years now. And, people are still coming at me for things that happened, 5-6 years ago. I've apologized several times for those things. Also, the same old thing over and over and over and over again is not only boring, it's harassment. It's gotten to the point of, with certain people on YouTube, they stalk you and they harass you wherever you go. And they make it their life's purpose to, try to derail anything you create on YouTube. And, I've learned to, let it go and not let it affect me. But, at the end of the day, it's just really, really sad to see that there are people out there that make it their life's purpose to try to harm people,
I agree. And it's one thing being a social media and being out there on this platform. And we all walk into this knowing that we are going to get some ridicule and be trolled, but we don't expect that it's going to go out towards our families and our loved ones. And that's what's the most disturbing thing, is that when these people do reach out to your friends and family, and that's the scary part, is that we have no control of what these people are going to do, because we don't know who they are, because they're hiding behind a keyboard. Right.
Basically, YouTube's become the new Hollywood. This is what they used to do to Hollywood stars and other public figures, like political figures and stuff. When people don't like you, they try to come at you and try to derail you and get you to stop, doing what you're doing. People are trying to get me to stop being a coach. They're trying to get politicians to stop being a politician, etc. And when they can't get to you, then they start going after everyone that you care for as a pathetic and miserable attempt to knock you down.
I mean, it's happened to you, Eli.
I know.
Yeah, in the past. And I know you've talked about it and how they tried to go after, like, just hurting you with your father after he had passed, Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really want to talk about that, but it's totally fine. I mean, I've forgiven that creator that went and spit on my father's grave at his gravesite. And I've pretty much forgiven, everyone for whatever they've done. What I'm saying, babe, is that, the levels that people will take things just because they don't like someone is ridiculous. And a lot of the stuff that you see happening out here on YouTube would never happen in the real world. These people would never do this in the real world. People used to come at my ex-girlfriend, Dana, years ago on a former channel I used to run that no longer exists. And you know what? That was a learning experience. I really learned a lot about how to deal with this type of stuff years ago, which is great, because had I not gone through it, I would not have known how to handle it now, being with you for 2 years and, preparing you, prepping you. I prepped you for many months before you even did your first live stream with me, before people knew your name and before you showed your face. Remember that about 1.5 years ago or so?
Oh, yeah. It was a long time before I even spoke, on YouTube. And then it was a while before I even showed my face. It was probably another 6 months.
Right.
And then it was, I still didn't even have my name out there.
Right. But I prepped you for it. And had I not prepped you for it with the incredible amount of experience I had, because I was severely trolled in the past, and same with my ex, how do you think that would have affected you? Do you think you would have still been here had I not given you the insight on what's really going on?
Yeah, because I'm in love with you.
Also, you would have stuck around, but most other people would have probably, just gone away.
Yeah, but I have gone back and forth on whether I'm going to be involved with YouTube, with you, or I'm not. But that doesn't mean whether I'm going to be with you or I'm not. I'm in love with you and I'm here till the end.
No, I understand, but let me clarify the question again. The question was, had I not prepped you as well as I did, and you just came on and started doing shows blind with me, not knowing what could happen, and then, you started dealing with what actually happened, do you not think it would have affected you differently, not having a heads up on what's actually going on? You might have taken it differently.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I still had points in time where I struggled with this, and you know that.
True.
I mean, I have been going through things in my life where I didn't need to deal with this BS. This is so juvenile, and I have real adult matters to deal with that it was just so stupid, and it really got to me. Even though I was prepped for it, it really disappointed me and discouraged me that life was going on like this in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it saddened me and it angered me. And yeah, it triggered me at times.
So in essence, what you're saying, babe, is no matter how much prep you could have had, let's say you had the absolute best, most perfect prep for what was about to happen, it still wouldn't change your reactions, because feelings are feelings. And again, no matter how much prep you have, it's still going to hurt a bit.
Well, yeah, because you know what? The person on the other side of the keyboard, they don't know what's going on the other side of the other person's keyboard. Somebody could have just lost a family member. Somebody could have, just lost their job. Somebody, could have just been diagnosed with cancer. Anything could be going on in their life. And when you come at them with these kind of comments, it really can affect a human and cause PTSD in the future if it doesn't cause them to commit suicide at that moment. And that's the thing that I want to get across. That's my purpose with this trolling and this bullying that's going on out there, is that you really, and this is in the real world also, you really don't know what somebody's going through in their life. So just be kind, because you never know. Because anything you say or do, you never know how that's going to trigger somebody and how that's going to affect the rest of their day. They can get in their car and just drive off a bridge or something.
Right. And a lot of these people, no matter what they say, a lot of them say, oh, we just do this for entertainment. We just do this to, keep us company.
For shits and giggles.
Right, exactly. They either realize that this can drive people to end themselves, or they don't. But even if they realize that people can take it to the level of ending themselves, I mean, what kind of a person would want to drive someone to do that?
Do you see that? He took his collar off.
I did.
Oh, you did?
You know why?
Yes.
Keep going, babe.
No, I know why you did. I just thought he did it here.
No, I took his collar off. It's okay.
That's funny. What were you saying?
No, I was saying people that, even if someone knows, they could be potentially driving someone to end themselves. Why would they continue doing something that could potentially drive someone to end themselves? What kind of a person is that? I mean,
sociopath?
Yeah. I mean, why would anyone want to wish harm upon someone else? The only reason I can think of is they're miserable within themselves. They're unhappy about something that they're lacking, that they're seeing amongst the people they're going towards or going at.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's a projection that they're lacking, they're projecting on another person.
Right. So, to wrap up this segment of, live stream panels on YouTube, I've made a decision here that I mentioned on my, I think it was on a Walking with Purpose stream on the other channel, Coach Eli 2 Authentic Live Streams, a few days back. I mentioned that I'm never going to go on another live stream panel again. If people want to interview me, you can interview me pre-recorded. The only live streams I will do are on my channels here, more so on Coach Eli too, because we don't really do many live streams here anymore on the main channel. It's the pre-recorded channel, because I have full control. I have full control of the trolls. I have full control over who I bring on. Okay. I have full control over, prepping the guests and the topics. I have control over someone coming on trying to derail the show or doing something that's going to, get the channel shut down. And I've gone through great lengths over the years to protect not only myself and my lady, but everyone else that comes on the channel. I have Nightbot with block words. I also, when I do streams from the studio, I have a 1-minute delay through open broadcast software. So if somebody does come on and tries to do a stupid porn bombing or, tries to, say something that'll get the stream removed, I can just cut that part and then come right back and continue where I left off. Or where we left off. And at the, when it goes to the replay, YouTube just cuts that part out and splices the two parts together. And a lot of people are scrutinizing me for that, but the people that are scrutinizing me are the trolls and haters that can't get away with what they're doing because we have basically closed the hole on them. What are your thoughts about that, babe? Would you more so want to work with a channel like our channel here that controls it at that level and is more, fair and professional, or would you want to go on a panel that's a free-for-all? Because a lot of these creators, they say, well, we let the trolls talk, we let everyone come on because it's freedom of speech. But isn't there a difference between freedom of speech and hate speech? I've talked about it many times over the years, but there is a difference between freedom of speech and hate speech and harassment and bullying and all that stuff. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, they do have, that's why there's anti-bullying, anti-hate laws. They have that for a reason. And correct me if I'm wrong, don't they have that with YouTube as well? Because they have anti-hate, anti-bullying rules? You can report that?
Yeah, you can flag anyone's stream or video for bullying and harassment, but it's very rare that YouTube takes it down. And, bullying and harassment is actually, if you have a bullying and harassment issue, the FBI is in charge of cyberbullying, but they're going to have you go to your local police department first. And when you go to your local police department, they're going to just say it's a YouTube beef. I've dealt with that so many years ago. So they're really, when it comes to bullying and harassment, at least now currently in 2023 when we're doing this video, bullying and harassment laws, or bullying, online bullying, there's really not much you can do about it. The laws haven't really caught up yet, and that's what a lot of these trolls and haters take advantage of. So until we have more stricter laws where companies like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, they have to start removing things more. So they have to put more resources to remove these things. It's just not going to happen. It's a crapshoot regarding what gets removed or not.
So answer me this.
Okay.
If somebody text messages somebody, does that take them out of the YouTube spectrum, and then that could be considered harassment or bullying? And they can go to the local police department and report that.
Well, I mean, you can report anything you want, babe, but here's the thing. You're talking about people stalking other people in real life, reaching out to friends or family members to try to get to you. People can look up information online, and they're going to do it anonymously. They're going to do it from a Google Voice number. They're going to use a virtual private network. They're going to try to mask their identity as much as possible. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, if the FBI gets involved, there is a chance that the FBI can trace it back to the original person. But even then, if you cover your tracks well enough, you can pretty much get away with it. And it sucks. That's the problem. You got to understand, that's the problem. I've dealt with this stuff for over 6 years, and I've tried everything to stop this the proper way. The bottom line is, there's really not much you can do. They're not going to take action until the police won't take action until someone is beat up or there's a threat that was caught on camera and it was recorded. Like, there has to be some kind of actual physical proof, or they're not going to do a damn thing about it. So you have to protect yourself, and you've got to, ignore it as best as possible and just let it go. Now, from a moral standpoint, if we're going to talk about from a moral standpoint, is it right for someone to do that?
No, absolutely not.
No. And if someone is caught doing that online, like a lot of these people, they'll create content, where they will show screenshots of doing this stuff, right? Then the court of public opinion will come in and chastise that person. But what happens when you create content like that? The person doing it gets more attention, which is what they want. So either way, the only thing you can really do is ignore it. Make your friends and family aware. Hey, I'm a public figure on YouTube. They can look us up. They can look up known associates. They may reach out to you and say, hey, I need to talk to you about this Coach Eli guy because, he's out harming people on YouTube. And that, that's what these trolls and haters of mine from years ago keep saying. Like, they keep regurgitating stuff that happened years ago where I was learning the ropes. I've apologized for any nasty words I may have said, and I've never harmed anyone. These people are saying I'm harming people, but how have I harmed anyone? I'm not harming anyone. I'm just here to uplift people and, motivate people to become a better person so they can accomplish whatever their hearts desire, personally and professionally. Right, babe?
Absolutely. I'm in a way better place than I was before I met you.
Well, why don't you talk about that for a second? Because you brought it up. I didn't bring it up. That's a great thing. Why don't we segue into that?
Okay. I mean, I had broken up with my last boyfriend. It had been probably, I don't know, about 8 months or so. And I was living on my own, and I was doing okay, but I was struggling a little bit on my own with all the bills on one income. Now, my ex-boyfriend, because we have 2 dogs, he was very generous by taking care of the dogs, like buying their food and stuff. So that did help, but I still struggled. And I wasn't able to, I was going to a doctor, but that doctor was not very well. We didn't have very good health care in Hollister, which y'all know I was living in Hollister, so that's
everyone knows it. All the people.
Everybody has done a background
They've all
check
looked
on
you up.
me, so it's no lie, it's no secret. So there's really no good health care there, but I was still trying, and going to work full time and just doing the best I could, but my health was deteriorating. I was falling into more depression, and things were just going bad, and I never thought I was going to meet anybody else, and I really didn't think I deserved anybody else. And then I met Eli, and he made me feel worth it. And he worked with me on my self-confidence, on self-love, and it has nothing to do with finances or anything like that. But he made me feel like I was worth living, and brought up my self-esteem with his coaching and everything else, and his love and his heart and his soul and just everything about him. And he taught me so much how to get my life back in order. And we got me back healthy and strong. And I feel amazing. And I owe it all to this man who loves me with all his heart and soul. Now you're going to make me cry.
Yeah, it's an emotional moment for me too. I got to keep it together for the show, but what you just heard is why I do what I do. I love people in general. I love this woman, obviously. When I first met her, I looked into her eyes. I knew she was the one. That's how it happens, folks. It's either there or it isn't. There's no in between. It's going to happen right away, and it'll continue going all the way, or it's never going to get there. You're going to either have that spark from the moment you lay eyes on each other, or you're not.
When I first met him, we went on, when we first met, I didn't know anything about his financial situation, his family's financial situation, nothing. We just talked about who he was in the YouTube, who I was in my job, who we were in our personal lives, and we connected that way. And it wasn't until a few dates later that he shared that, but I had already fallen in love with him before I even knew what anything was, and it had nothing to do with my feelings. And it's not even that he has the money. His family has the money. It's not him.
Well, I've got my own money.
Well, yeah, but
that's one thing people are chastising too. People keep talking about, living off of this estate and all this and that.
Yeah, you've earned your own money.
I make my own money. I've made my own money. I make my own money. How I make my money, how I've made it is no one's business. People can keep criticizing it all they want. Dawn has her own money. She doesn't have to explain where her money comes from or how, it happens, right? Unless one day, we want to talk about it. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Okay. Yeah. But, that's.
Yeah, but that was my point was, I didn't know anything and I fell in love with you regardless. You could have been dirt poor, but the way you treated me, the way you looked at me is how I fell in love with you. And the way just we bonded. And like I said, you were the missing puzzle piece that I needed to make me whole.
I appreciate that, babe. I did not expect this show to go down that path. I'm glad it did, though. You brought it up. I really appreciate it. It puts me at a loss for words. I just want to continue helping people. Both Don and I want to continue helping people learn to better love themselves and, learn to, have more self-confidence, like Don was saying. And once you love who you are deep within, the possibilities are endless. Then you're going to attract other like-minded good people that are going to want to work with you and help you. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all Don wants to do. We've all made mistakes along the way regarding whatever we've tried to create. I made a lot of mistakes when I first came out here doing the coaching thing on YouTube 6 years ago. I'm still paying the price for it. Obviously, there are some grown-ass people on this platform that just can't let anything go, and they probably never will. And that's okay. But the interesting thing is, babe, in this new gig economy community that we've been a part of, since probably the beginning of this year. And it's become more apparent lately because now I'm starting to work with these people. Over the last couple of months, I've been working closely with great people like Brian from the Gig Apps Exposed and DoorDash Sucks channels, Torp, and also Jeff Thomas Black, another great guy. Thomas Schubeck, who runs the Glitch Dash channel. Thomas Schubeck's an amazing guy, 35-year-old millennial man that has amazing maturity. I respect you. I have the utmost respect for you, Thomas. He's someone that I'm working with, and hopefully I've inspired you, Thomas, and you're doing phenomenal. He's taken his channel from 50 subs to 500 subs, and he's more comfortable talking out here on YouTube now, and he wants to, make something out of himself as a creator, and that just totally just touched my heart. So,
baby, I want to just go back to the last thing I said and
go
on record and say, yes, I do love you with all my heart. But yes, we have had issues over the last 2 years. You have been irritated at times. I have vented. And yes, I have vented to certain people, and it has bit me in the butt and it's come out. So go ahead, rebroadcast what I said, whatever you want. But I have every day loved this man unconditionally. Every couple gets frustrated and irritated and has to vent. And you think you're venting to your friend, and then they stab you in the back. So all I'm saying is to people out there who watch this and may see content that comes out that is rebroadcast that says something that I'm talking crap about, Eli.
Yeah.
It's from the past, and it's something that I'm irritated about at the moment. And if y'all are in relationships, y'all know. If y'all have parents that are together, you've all seen them get irritated and live happily ever after.
Well, if anything, what a lot of those people did that were sharing private voice messages that were sent behind the scenes, and they put it out there publicly. If anything, what they did was they brought us closer together, because here's the thing, like Don said, like, we love each other, we always will. We support each other no matter what, but we have our moments. I'm going to not agree with everything that Dawn says, and the same thing for her on the flip side. She's not going to agree with everything that I say, right? And so, you're going to have disagreements, and sometimes you talk with your friends about those disagreements. But what happens is, on YouTube, people will edit things and take things out of context. And I'm telling you, a lot of the things, and we don't care whether you believe us or not, but the right people know what I'm talking about because they understand the YouTube game. A lot of people out here will take private voice messages and they'll edit them. They'll cut certain words out. They'll splice them together to make it sound more damning than it actually is. But the truth of the matter is, Don is right. We're not perfect. We've had our moments. I don't argue women. That's one thing I suggest to all men. Never argue a woman. It's not worth it. You're never going to win. And you shouldn't even argue anyway. I discuss things with her, but sometimes, because she is a lady, and we know ladies' emotions are processed differently than men. Okay, they're going to get a little more triggered at times. That's just part of their natural biology. So as a man, I understand that, and like, she'll vent, I'll respond, and it may cause a little bit of a spat, but then we work through it and we move on. But some people on YouTube have to make a big deal out of that, when every relationship goes through that. The people that are putting these clips out there are having similar or worse issues, right?
The only difference is I guess they don't share them with people that are connected with YouTube. Maybe they're sharing them with their mom or their sister that's not on, or another friend that's not connected with YouTube that would share it there. My mistake is I trusted these people that I met through YouTube when I met you. I trusted them because they had been there for a while and they had accepted me and befriended me. And so, I just felt accepted in there as a new person. And every one of these women were being so nice to me. And then at one point, they all flipped the switch.
Well, you know what they really wanted, babe? They wanted information on me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you want information from me, come to me. I'll tell you. I mean, but anyway, no, I get what you're saying regarding that. That's part of the problem out here, but that's just stupid stuff because, when you start to, work with real people out here on YouTube, like I've been working with great people like Uber Jeep AZ is another great guy who sees past all the BS that people do out here on YouTube, past the trolling, past the hating, and so the right people that we're coming across, if you've noticed, sweetheart, they're not paying attention to or allowing the trolls to discredit, who I am and who we are. Have you noticed that? It is starting to turn around a bit.
Yes, it is. And we've had people that have been with us ever since I've been a part of this that have literally been so supportive, and they wind up watching the rebroadcast and don't come to the lives because it upsets how these trolls talk to us and what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And so they only watch the rebroadcast because of that. And then they message us and they're disgusted by what's happening. And so that's how I know they're loyal. they're true supporters. Because I know they tell me that, they're watching the rebroadcast.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what happened to us. It doesn't happen as much anymore. Sometimes people still do it. I blocked a lot of people. This is the actual story here, folks. If you're wondering, from the gig economy community or any new people that are coming around, people are asking, how did you get so many haters and trolls and this and that, and get this whole group of people to attack you gang mob style? Because that's what they're doing, right? Well, it all started, I used to be a part of this group called the I Am a Creator community. And it was a community created by some channels that were running live streams to connect other channels. It wasn't supposed to be a sub for sub. That's against YouTube's terms of service. But it ended up being that way. But I used it to connect with other small YouTubers to collaborate with and create content with, do live streams with, do videos with, etc. Right? So I connected with a lot of these people. And what ended up happening was, I also got involved with this other group called MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way, a group of men that feel the downside risk of dating or marrying women in the modern world is too hot because of modern day divorce laws and child custody laws, right? And, initially I thought it was a good group, but I realized it was about a group of men that were angry and bitter that their wives divorced them. And their wives got half the marital assets, which I guess if the man was making the majority of the money or all the money back in those days when they got divorced, then they got half his money, but it was half their money. That's what these guys don't realize. Without your wife or ex-wife, without her taking care of the kids and the house and all that, you would not have been able to go to work and do what you did, right, babe? So,
yes.
So a lot of these guys were angry and bitter. They started to come around my channel. They were intermingling with the good new people I was meeting. And then it just started to create all this fighting and stuff. And people even the good people I was, meeting and coming to my channel to watch my live streams, they started to trash talk me. So I just banned them, and I banned a bunch of them. If these people weren't mature enough to see, what was really happening, and be there for the right reasons and be respectful, they would get banned. And as I was banning a lot of these people, there were a few other creators that got them all together, and started, bringing them to their channels, and then they would rebroadcast my streams, and they would create constant content on me, and that's how this whole thing all started. Okay, so that's a little bit of the backstory. Did you want to mention something, babe?
Oh no, it's just about the whole MGTOW, and how the guy was mad, or they're mad because in a divorce, the women get half. If the man makes more, and you're saying she should get half because she's doing half the work with the kids and stuff like that. And it's not always like that, because if the woman happens to make as much as the man or a little bit more, she gets nothing. She doesn't even get child support. No alimony, no child support, just because she makes a touch more than that man. She's screwed.
Well, that's why when you're in a marriage and your income is equal to your spouse, then you're both contributing half already, so there's no need to divvy it up, right?
Okay, you don't need to divvy up alimony, but if she is going to take the kids, she deserves child support.
Yeah, I can understand that. But unfortunately, the way the law, and again, the laws still suck, baby. That's part of the problem. And it depends what judge you get, right, and how they're feeling that day. And all laws are subjective to the court of law and the judge, right, or the jury, or both, right?
Oh yeah, and the lawyers.
Well, the lawyers fight the fight, but basically, it's subjective to. If it's in this case, it'd be a judge presiding. When you go to a divorce court, it's the judge. It's not. There's no jury there. But what I'm saying,
they get per experience. You go in and do mediation with, a family mediator. They decide if it's going to go to court, if it's that bad. which it was, holding it there so it doesn't move.
You don't have to.
But then you go into court, which we did in my case, and they decide whether or not, what's going to happen from there, who's going to get custody of the children, who's going to pay child support, alimony, or who's going to get nothing. And typically it does fall towards the mother. She gets most of it. My case, not so much. So, and I had a female judge. I didn't even have a male judge. Typically with female judges, they do tend to soften with mothers. Not so much. This is why, and I'm not trying to play a martyr or a victim, but I literally have caught like the bad card, like the worst cards in poker in almost every situation.
Yeah.
And that's why ever since I met you, everything has looked up and it's getting better.
And you know why, babe? Here's the thing. Good people that are honest and ethical, we always get screwed. It's the people that are unethical or writing the lines of what's legal, right? They push and ride the line of ethics to the point of right before it becomes illegal. And it's at the very least unethical and it's not moral, right? And these people lack empathy, etc. Those people, they get away with everything and, they get ahead. And the good people like you and myself, not only do we get screwed, but we get chastised, we get attacked and saying, well, you didn't get half or you didn't get a fair share because you did this, you did that. No, it doesn't matter because here's the thing. Everything that you're going to be blaming Don for or myself for or anyone else for, the other side did the same thing. Like people that blame others for doing certain things have done those same things themselves and usually even worse. It's called being a hypocrite. So like, in the case, I'm not trying to get too far into this, in the case with you and your ex-husband, everything that he probably put out, he probably did himself. And I'm not trying to be critical. Go ahead.
For one thing, one example, before he was a police officer, he himself, when he was younger, got himself a DUI. And then I got myself one in 2007. But that was held against me in the divorce. Not brought up with his, because he was a cop at the time. And I think that is what sealed the deal, because he got the snakiest police attorney in town that he could find. And that is how it happened. He had the statue, and I wasn't working as a nurse anymore. And, I was taking a leave of absence at that point because I was going through all of this. And he was still working. And I just think that's what sealed the deal, is that he had that clout as being a cop, which was more presentable to the judge.
Yeah, no, I hear you, baby. Like I've been saying, there are people that know how to play the system.
And they dug up everything. If I was late to work 5 minutes, that was brought up. If the kids were late to school, that was brought up.
Of course. That's nitpicking, baby. I mean, look, baby, a lot of times attorneys will bring that stuff up because they know they can get to you emotionally. And if you have an emotional outburst in court that they instigated, they're going to hold that against you. Like, look, people nowadays are just, I don't even know what the right word to say is. They have no compassion or empathy. They only care about themselves. And a lot of attorneys are like that.
It was because I couldn't afford a really good attorney
Mm-hmm.
that she didn't dig into him, because where was he for 11 days? Oh, Las Vegas
Mm-hmm.
for the last, like right before he took me to court, and 6 months before that, where was he? Oh, Las Vegas, spending money,
Yeah.
and before that, when he was in Las Vegas, who was taking care of these kids and getting them to and from school and soccer practice and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That was me. But then I'm horrible and not able to take care of my kids.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing. I can't even talk. I appreciate you sharing that, babe. And that just shows, how honest and raw and real of a person you are. And I'm the same way. We're very honest to a fault.
And it shows how corrupt some of the judicial system can be, and how it can be jaded and it can go one way or the other. Because a lot of people say that it always goes in the mom's direction. And, he would threaten divorce sometimes. And I was like, and to take the kids like early in the marriage. And I was like, there's no judge in this state that would give you full custody. You're a cop, you've got to do your job and they call you at any time. Well, that karma came back and bit me in the booty,
Well, yeah, and ultimately, at the end of the day, you can chalk it up to, hey, you guys just were not compatible, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, I will never say he's a bad man or a bad father, and by golly, he is not a bad police officer. And when he has a mission to find something, he will find it.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for sharing
that. He's a detective, like pretty much a detective right now.
Yeah.
And he will find anybody he needs to.
Yeah, and what's really, I'll tell you this, and again, we're not looking to instigate anything here. Don and I just want to live life and help people and run our channels, and, share our stories and help uplift as many people as possible. But yeah, no, I mean, her ex has a lot of good resources, even FBI resources. And obviously, he's not going to tap into that stuff unless it's actually something worth it. But, if the man feels his family's being threatened.
And you know what a man does?
Yeah.
He protects his family.
Man's going to do what he's got to do to protect his family, right? So, but anyway, let's move on here, baby, because we're at 47 minutes. We want to wrap this up at about an hour. We got about 13 minutes or so left to go.
Cool.
So what I want to talk about here is what happened to Torp, who's one of the newer channels we started to collaborate with probably a couple months ago when we started to create content with some of these gig economy content creators. Torp's a wonderful man, around the same age as us, and he's got a wonderful wife. And over the last several weeks or so, some of the content creators, some of the drama content creators within the gig economy community started to attack his wife, started to say some very, very vile things. I won't say here because it will probably get us removed. And it really upset him, and I don't blame him. And initially, Torp thought that he wasn't getting support, but the moment we found out, Torp, sometimes we don't find out about things right away because we're all busy, but the moment we found out, we went into high gear because
100% support.
Yeah, because my woman has been through the same thing. My lady Dawn here has been through the same thing, and I'm going to have her talk. She's going to talk about it respectfully. Now, there are so many things she could say. I know you're probably
I've got a filter.
Well, yeah, but we want to keep it professional too. But, these people came at you, and, why don't you just share a little bit, babe, what you want to share regarding that so Torp and his wife know that they're not alone, and we're truly here to help stop this.
Yeah, Torp, I'm so sorry they were so vile with what they said about your wife. That's horrible. So I do apologize. But yeah, the things that they've come at me, and I'm not going to say any names, but there's certain creators that I've been in contact with that I'm absolutely cool with and still cool with. And they don't live anywhere near us. But apparently I'm having an affair with them. And I don't know how that's happening. And other people I'm having an affair with. Oh, and let's not forget about my blown out cervix.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the big one, my blown out cervix. And remind me of the other ones,
Too many to mention.
There's too many to
Too many to mention. There have been many times the trolls.
Oh yeah, I'm into bestiality also. I like to have sex with my dogs. So, I mean, it's coming from all different angles.
Well, you said as an example. That's not what you're not into that.
Yeah, no, I don't have sex with my dogs. I made a comment that I was gone for 4 days or 5 days. And when I got home, my dogs were so excited that they were licking my face because they were so happy and jumping all over me. And like Eli was saying, they totally twisted that into I was into bestiality.
Well, they take it, they edit it out of context, and they do it to make it seem more damning because it's not. See, here's the thing. The people that are coming at you, they're coming at you to try to get to me. They really don't want anything to do with you. They want to try to get to me. The same thing with you, Torp. It's not about your wife. It's about you. They're trying to get to you because you're a strong guy and they can't get to you. Now they're going to go and say these things about your wife that they know would upset any normal, reasonable man. And that's why, I wanted to bring Dawn out here and, have her talk about this and some other things to show you guys that you're not alone. And we've experienced this not just recently, but we've been experiencing this for the last 6 years. We have the experience to where if anyone goes through this and you come and become a part of our group here, we will help you, we will protect you, and we will share with you the truth about what's going on. And
absolutely,
it's just with these people, it's just a game. It's just about, they're bored, they're lonely, they're miserable, and this entertains them.
Yeah, they have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
they, and that's the problem. I was telling Eli earlier, in my whole 48 years of life, I've never seen anything like this. I've had many jobs. I've gone to school. I went, obviously elementary, junior, high school, college. Never seen anything like this. And, even when you go to work, you have beefs with people, you don't agree. But nobody ever attacks your family or your loved ones like these people do. They don't even try to take your jobs away like these people do or hurt your livelihood. I mean, sometimes somebody might try to be moving up, but they don't go after everything like these people do in a shady way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just asinine and disgusting.
Asinine's a great word, babe. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it just absolutely makes me sick.
I agree. I totally agree. And we're at 53 minutes. The final thing I'd like us to talk about, babe, and then I'll ask you if you have anything else you want to mention, is people that make threats out here on YouTube. This is something I want to end with this because a lot of people I care for that I've been working with have been getting threatened lately. And I'm not going to mention names, obviously. But people can put two and two together. And I've been threatened many times.
I don't even know if they can because they're all ignorant.
What's that?
I said, I don't even know if they can because they're all ignorant.
Well, yeah, ignorant's a great word too, babe. I love this woman. She's got a great vocabulary. And she's being really, really nice right now. Let me tell you, this woman could whoop people's you-know-whats. She's being...
even just with words.
Oh, yeah. Dawn is a wonderful, sweet woman. But, you mess with her, you mess with her family, you mess with...
Don't come after my kids.
I mean, even coming after me, I tell her, I'm a man, I can handle it, but she still has my back. And I love this woman. This woman's made me a better man.
Don't come after my kids.
No, I agree with that. Don't come after your family, period. But this woman has made me a better man. Like Torp, you were saying, your woman has made you a better man, and you have the utmost respect in her. And this woman has balanced me out. Look, everyone goes through through things. Sorry, everyone has their moments, right? Don's been through a lot. I've been through a lot. And just because we've been through a lot doesn't mean we're not right for each other. Doesn't mean that we're not good people. Everyone makes mistakes and we learn from them. And then we become stronger and better people because of our mistakes and our past experiences. But what I want to talk about here is there are a lot of creators out there that create content that's drama content, and they say certain things to bring out that shock jock value of where everyone drops everything and tune in. They'll make threats towards other people, like they're going to come into your hometown, I'm showing up, this and that, whatever, right? Now, a lot of these creators, when they're called out, even by people within their own communities, they'll come out and say, well, there's a difference between an implied threat and an actual threat. Let me repeat that again. They say there's a difference between what's called an implied threat and an actual threat. Implied means you basically are talking about it, but have no intention of doing it, meaning that you're trying to get YouTube clicks. And actual threat is, I'll be there on this day in San Francisco. You better be ready for me, blah, 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 right? So,
absolutely, yeah.
Quite frankly, whether it's an implied threat or an actual threat, it's pathetic. It's not right. First of all, any real threat, you know what happens eventually. You're going to pay the price for that with the law. An implied threat eventually will get you removed off of YouTube and at least will lose you credibility with your communities and your numbers will go down. So while you guys out there that are putting out, and I say guys because a lot of women don't do this, some do, but it's mainly men. It's mainly men, right?
Cowards.
Well, yeah, they are cowards. While you're out there implying these threats to try to get that shock jock content, thinking you're going to get more views, you may get a few more views initially, but eventually you're going to get shut down and or lose all credibility even with your own audience. Then you're going to have nothing, right?
Huh?
So what are your thoughts about that, babe? Because and then I'll share my final thoughts on threats and how I feel people should look at it.
Like, I'm just getting shut down for, what do you want me to say?
What are your thoughts about what I said? Creators out there that make threats on the internet to people, like they're going to show up, and beat you.
I think whether they're valid threats or not valid threats, they should be held accountable for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter because you don't know whether they're valid or not.
Correct. Now, if you've been a YouTuber like I've been, or a content creator like I've been for over 6 years, and you've been threatened by every single person on the platform, that's an extreme measure, but you know what I'm saying. I've been threatened many times. You figure out that, it's probably more than likely 99.9% just fake for clicks, right? The latest example is, Pedro DoorDash Santiago. I'm just going to mention him again briefly. I was on a panel with Robert Reese last week, and he was interviewing Thomas, Schubeck, aka the Glitch Dash channel, regarding him being deactivated on YouTube for using the glitch. Being deactivated on DoorDash for using the glitch. Sorry. He's still on YouTube. And I popped on the panel an hour and a half after the interview started, just to bring some more value, right? And then Pedro popped on and basically said, "See you in San Francisco," and then left the panel. He didn't even give me a chance to respond and apologize if he felt I, did him wrong, which I didn't do him wrong. I was just, making a statement. He thought I was coming at his family when I never came at his family. I was just asking a legitimate question, and I had concern about what was going on regarding stuff he had already put out publicly. But the point I'm trying to make is that, he came on there and said, "I'll see you in San Francisco," and then left the panel. It's kind of like one of those, you know what it reminded me of? Reminded me like the old school WWF days before they became WWE. Now they still do that, but remember, they would sit there and say something damning to get you to tune back into the next show or to get you to buy the pay-per-view for WrestleMania, right, babe?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? So that's, in essence, that's what Pedro was doing. He was like basically trying to
bait you.
Well, no, what he wanted was a response, but he didn't get the response because I don't feel threatened by it, and I didn't stop creating, and I'm not going to stop creating. But what he wanted to do, regardless, was get people to wonder what he was going to do next so they can tune into more of Pedro's content. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. No, I understand.
You know, so to you guys and gals out there that are currently being threatened, I'm not saying to not take it seriously. I'm telling you, in most cases, you know, it's 99.9% a fake threat just for clicks and views. Don't stop creating. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, you don't need to move out of your house. You don't need to you know, take extreme measures like that. Now, what I've done, what I would recommend is I have cameras outside my place. You know, I'm even looking at I have a monitor where I can monitor it, and I have a DVR that can record up to a month. And if anything happens, you know, if anyone comes anywhere near my property, they're going to get caught on camera. So, you know, I mean, you know, take some precaution, but also understand the majority of these threats are pathetically fake. These people are pathetic, and they're just hurting deep within. And if they had better content to create that would get them some traction, they would do it. And furthermore, a lot of these creators that make these threats, they hardly go on camera. They hide behind the avatar on StreamYard. Even more pathetic, right, babe? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. You know how I feel about, you know, people that hide behind their keyboards and the StreamYards and all that. And
if you don't show your face and use your real name, then how can I take anything you say as credible, right, babe?
Yeah. How can I take you serious?
Right. Exactly.
Like, it's like, how do I know you're not a robot?
That's true. And AI nowadays is running everything. That's the whole problem we have with DoorDash. AI is running that company and screwing us over and making the three people at the top, including Tony Hsieh, billions at our expense. And everyone else is paying for it.
The computer asks me if I'm a robot every time I log into something.
Oh, this is you right here.
Yeah.
We're here. Here we are. Any final thoughts, baby? Because we're going to do more of these, but we wanted to do this to show you folks, you know, that, hey, we're a great team. We work well together. We're not perfect, you know, and we also wanted to stand up for what some other people are going through. Any final thoughts, babe?
I do. I'm actually going to not say it because you've asked me not to mention this too much, and I've already said enough. So I want to thank everybody, and we'll see y'all later.
Well, before we go here, I totally forgot what I was going to mention now, baby. I had something that I was going to say. I think at this point right now, to the people in the gig community, and even for people that aren't a part of the gig community, like, we got to move past all this drama. I feel we have enough great content creators throughout this gig community. Brian, Gig Apps Exposed and DoorDash Sucks. Torp, Thomas Schubeck, aka Glitchdash, Jeff Thomas Black, Uber Cheap AZ, you know, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, and some other people. We've got some great content creators here that don't need drama to create great content that can help people. And, you know, what we need to focus on, first of all, is getting better rights for the drivers, but also helping uplift people, helping people learn to love themselves more, and supporting people, you know, when other people are coming at them and they don't understand what's truly going on.
I do have something to say.
Go ahead.
So, in my last words for today is, all of you haters are going to hate. But my motto is, I'm going to shake it all off.
Isn't that Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah, in the wonderful words of T. Swift.
Well, that's great. I'm sure she did a lot of hate, but man, she turned it around and made a ton of money, and, you know, she loves what she does, and
she don't care what they say. Neither do I. So say what you want about me, but you leave everybody else's name and my family and everybody else that I love out your motherfucking mouth. Sorry.
It's okay. occasional profanity is allowed. It's not a big deal. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to watch this pre-recorded video here.
Thank you.
Dawn and I will be doing more pre-recorded videos. We may get some more going this week. We may do some from the car or other areas. We're going to change it up. We're going to have a lot more pre-recorded content coming here, so make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications here on Coach Eli, Elias, Melas channel. And then make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the live streaming channel, Coach Eli 2 Authentic Live Streams, subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications there as well. I'm going to be doing Walking with Purpose live streams there, but any other in-studio content that I do will be done pre-recorded and put out here on this channel. So the only live streams for the time being you're going to be getting now on Coach Eli 2 are going to be my Walking with Purpose streams, because there are no panels involved there, and it's just myself and the camera, and it's a time for me to communicate with my audience, and it's just a very informal type of show, baby. People really love those Walking with Purpose streams, huh?
Yeah, they do. I loved them too. Remember? I asked you not to stop when I was working.
Well, yeah, remember?
Right when we started dating.
Yeah, when you and I started dating, and I was doing those shows, and I was getting really severely attacked and trolled, I was going to take a couple weeks off, and you reached out to me, and you said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was listening to you while I was at work and multitasking and working. And it touched my heart. I'm like, if my woman feels this way, I'm sure more people feel this way that really rely on these walking streams to get through their days. And if I can help people get through their days, then why would I take that away from anyone?
Even if you're just helping one person.
Right. Even if it was just helping you. It was helping more people, but I couldn't do that to you. I couldn't. Now I wouldn't want to do that to anyone else either. But had it not been for you, and how much of an impact those walks had for you, and you didn't reach out, I would have taken a couple weeks off, maybe a month off. But I had put my channel to. Back then, I was doing them here on the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, before we got Coach Eli 2 monetized, which was because of your great content. And basically, I'm losing my train of thought right now. It's like I couldn't do that to you. I couldn't do that to you, and I put my channel I hid my channel, and then hid it like 10 hours later. And came back. I really thank you for that. When you have the right partner in life, they really ground you, and they really allow you to think more clearly, and they're able to inspire and motivate you to keep moving forward with your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Anything else, baby?
Even early in our relationship, I saw that this was your purpose. I saw it in your eyes, and I wasn't going to let you let it go.
Well, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Is that it, baby?
That's all.
All right, everyone. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, baby, be good to each other.